Hey guys, it's Brant and I'm back with another Kiss album review. This time I'm going to be reviewing Kiss's 14th studio album and 26th release overall. Today I'm going to be doing 1987's Crazy Nights. Let's get into it.
Whoa! Here's a little song for everybody out there.
Crazy Nights was Kiss's 14th studio album and 26th album release overall, including live albums, compilation albums, and the 1978 solo albums. It was released on September 18, 1987. It was recorded from March to June 1987 at Can-Am Studios in Tarzana, California, One-on-One Recording Studios in Hollywood, California, and Rumbo Recorders in Canoga Park, California. Up to this point, Crazy Nights is the longest running studio album at 42 minutes and 53 seconds, beating out Lick It Up by 7 seconds. It was produced by Ron Nevinson, who had produced bands like UFO, Thin Lizzy, The Babies, Survivor, Jefferson Starship, and he had also just finished producing Ozzy Osbourne's The Ultimate Sin album. He would then later go on to produce Jefferson Airplane, Heart, Europe, Firehouse, Damn Yankees, and Chicago. Gene and Paul decided after producing their last two albums that they were going to hire a producer, and Paul chose Nevinson because he was hoping that he could help them achieve a sound that would be more commercially receptive. This was the second album after Asylum to feature the lineup that, along with Gene and Paul, included Eric Carr and Bruce Kulick. The album would have 7 outside writers: Adam Mitchell, Desmond Child, Bruce Turgon, Davitt Sigerson, Peter Diggins, Diane Warren, and Mitch Wiseman. Crazy Nights was another album that featured keyboards and synthesizers like Unmasked before it, but on Crazy Nights, the level of the keyboards and the synthesizers would be featured more predominantly than any other Kiss release before it. Crazy Nights can be viewed as a huge departure from what Kiss had been doing in their previous albums, starting with Creatures, although they had been moving towards the pop metal sound with the release of Asylum. Kiss had taken a couple months hiatus after the tour of Asylum wrapped up so Gene could work on his career as an actor and a producer. It was during this time that Paul's disdain with Gene continued to grow and caused Paul to grab the reins of Kiss tighter and push the band forward with writing material for a new album. This break also gave Gene and Bruce the chance to contribute more songs, with Eric having 1 co-writing credit and Bruce 4. During this time, Paul continued to collaborate with Desmond Child and Adam Mitchell, but he also wrote some songs with Diane Warren and Bruce Turgon. It was on this album that Paul began to shift from writing songs on guitar to writing songs on the piano, and it definitely shows. The album's original title was Who Dares Wins, and this was Eric's idea based on a patch one of their wardrobe girls would wear. He and Paul both liked it, but dropped the idea because they didn't think anyone would understand it. They also briefly toyed with the idea of naming the album Condom Nation. They say they got a good chuckle out of the title, but they nixed the idea. There are quite a few demos and unreleased that didn't make the cut for the album, including songs like Sword and Stone, written by Bruce, Paul, and Desmond Child, but didn't make it because Nevinson didn't like it. There was also the song Dial L for Love, written by Gene, Eric, and Adam Mitchell. Eric started the song and even sang on it, but he didn't finish it. He passed it to Gene and Adam, who worked on it but didn't feel like it was good enough to finish. The song Are You Always This Hot was written by Gene and Adam Mitchell. It was recycled by Gene using a song previously written by Adam from 1981 called Time Traveler. No known audio copy of Are You Always This Hot is known to exist. Several other songs that were written for the album but didn't make it were songs like Boomerang, X Marks the Spot, Scratch and Sniff, What Goes Up, Hunger for Love, Dirty Blonde, and No Mercy, although Boomerang would later be featured on Hot in the Shade. The band played on almost all the songs except for one, with Gene missing one song, Hell or High Water, and only used 2 outside musicians, Phil Ashley, who played keyboards along with Paul and Bruce, and Tom Kelly, who provided backing vocals. Paul sings 7 of the 11 songs, Gene sings the remaining 4. The album peaked at number 18 on the U.S. charts and spent 34 weeks on the charts. The album was certified gold by the RIAA on November 11, 1987, and certified platinum on February 18, 1988. They released 3 singles for the album: Crazy Crazy Nights, Reason to Live, and Turn on the Night. Now the packaging on this album, it's not my favorite packaging. It's not really my favorite album. album cover. But basically, the packaging has a cover of the band's logo and the album title on all four corners. You see here, there's on all four corners there, and along with fractured individual photos of the band members. And the back cover shows 4 more photos individually of the band. Let me get my hand off here so you can see Bruce. 4 more individual photos of the band, along with the listing and the Chikara symbol, which means, I believe, power or something like that. I used to think it meant kiss or whatever, but when I was younger, but it means power. I haven't opened this one because this is actually I don't know if you can see it very well here, but this is a BMG release. I don't know if that's going to focus good enough there, but this is sealed, and I recently picked this up, and this is a recent pickup for me. This is an album that I admitted before I've never owned this album until recently. I'd heard it several times before. I think I might have had it on cassette or something, or somebody I knew might have had it on cassette. But I don't remember ever buying this album with my own money. I would have been buying like Guns N' Roses and stuff like that at this time. I wasn't really listening to Kiss at this time. I was listening to old school Kiss and Lick It Up back. I'd maybe throw Asylum in and Animalize in. But those 2 albums really, even though they're good, they really started slipping. They were nothing of the caliber of like Creatures of the Night and Lick It Up and things like that. The albums like that. And then, of course, I was listening to earlier Kiss. But I'll go ahead and throw some pictures up here of the dust sleeve. But the dust sleeve has a black and white photo of the band all together on one side, an album song lyrics on the other. It's nothing real spectacular. I'll go ahead and show the rings here. It's Mercury center rings. It's nothing really to write home about. So you know what part we're at now. We're going to get into the songs. We talked about the album, talked about some history of the album. I'll probably throw some trivia in on maybe on the album on some of the songs. Throw some trivia in on the songs. But we're going to get to the songs. There's 11 tracks on this album. Like I said, at this point, it's the longest Kiss album, studio Kiss album. The live albums, of course, were longer because they were double albums. This is the longest studio album. And up to this point, there will be longer ones after this one. But we're going to go ahead and get into the songs. Going to start off with track 1, side 1, track 1, Crazy, Crazy Nights.
These are my people, and this is my ground. These are crazy, 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 crazy nights. These are crazy, crazy.
Crazy Crazy Nights was written by Paul and Adam Mitchell. It was sang by Paul. Paul played the rhythm. Gene played the bass. Eric played the drums. Bruce played the solo. It was written by Paul and Adam originally on the keyboard, like many of the songs on this album. The song was written with a specific intent to set the tone for the album and to be the lead single off the album. The final recording hardly changed at all from the demo. Now, this is not a bad song. I've got in my notes here that it was the song of the times. It was very 80s. And Bon Jovi had blew up at this point in time, and everybody was scrambling to look like Bon Jovi, sound like Bon Jovi, But then, so had bands blew up like Guns N' Roses and stuff like that, And some bands had blew up like, some more gutter-type bands like Rat and stuff like that, who had gotten their influence from Kiss. I don't understand why Kiss just couldn't keep being Kiss. Why they wanted to feel like all of a sudden they had to be Bon Jovi. But I don't understand it. But, like I said, I have a lot of frustrations with this album. If you're a fan of this album, you might not like my reviews. You might like my review on this one. So just stick along, and we'll see what we go from here. But I've got here, it was very Bon Jovi-esque. Like the rest of the album is very Bon Jovi-esque. There are worse songs on this album. There's good performances by the whole band. Could have been heavier. This song would have probably been good if it had been a little heavier. And I'm going to say this now, and I'll say it. There's several statements I will make through this whole review. The sound sounds very sterilized. The guitars sound sterilized. The drums, the big thunderous drums that they had in Creatures of the Night, and continuing on in Lick It Up and Animalize, and even some of the songs on Asylum. Those sounds are gone for the most part on this album. There's one song on the album the drums sound really good, I think, but I'll talk about that when I get to it. But I've got here, that it's good performances. Bruce puts in good solos on every song on this album, and he contributes a lot to this album. I just wish it would have been recorded different. They definitely were going for that. They don't have a keyboardist in the band. That's what I don't understand. Bon Jovi has a keyboardist, David Bryan or whatever his name is. That might be his name. I don't know. I just know John and Richie, and Tico. And Tico was a good drummer to be in Bon Jovi. And it's a little side note. I actually enjoyed Tico. The keyboards in this album could have just been ditched. Kiss should have learned the lesson that they learned with Unmasked when it comes to keyboards. Just ditch the keyboards. This song is my rating system, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, 5 being in the middle. This song's a 5 to me. It's not a horrible song, but it's not in my opinion, it's not a great song either. But I like it. It's catchy. It's got some really good parts to it and everything. I don't like the way the recording of it sounds, and I don't like keyboards in songs like this. I don't like keyboards in keyboards in the right context, like in Typo Negative. Those keyboards work. Keyboards in Kiss, not so much. So I'm going to score this song a 5. We're going to go on to the next song, track 2, another Paul song, I'll Fight Hell to Hold You.
Someone to hold you with all of their might. Through the darkest night, I'll be there. I'll fight hell to hold you. Never too deep or mountain high. I'll fight hell to hold you.
I'll Fight Hell to Hold You was written by Paul Stanley, Bruce Kulick, and Adam Mitchell. It's sang by Paul. Paul played the rhythm, Gene played the bass, Eric played the drums, Bruce played the solo. It's rumored that Adam Mitchell also played guitar on this song. Bruce wrote the main riff and Paul came up with the title. Adam assisted in the overall writing and the finishing of the song. Now, this is not one of my favorite songs on the album either. I like this one less than I like Crazy Nights. I like the riff. It's got a good riff. Like I said, it's not heavy enough, and the keyboards and stuff just kill me. But I like the verse. I like the way Paul sings the verse. I like the way Paul sings the pre-chorus. And I even like that leading up to the chorus. But when it gets to the chorus, that I'll fight hell to hold you, Paul's up in those upper rafters that I cannot stand. And when he's up there just singing out of his nose and just singing that real high pitch, it just kills it for me. Any song that I like, when he gets into that, it just kills it for me. I can't stand it. But I got my notes. I like the riff. I like the verse, the pre-chorus. I hate the chorus. I hate the words. I hate that Paul's singing so high. And I'm not a fan of the guitars and the drums, how they sound once again, especially the drums in this album for the most part. They just seem sterilized. So based on all of that, I score this song a 4. This is, like I said, I don't hate the song. I like every part about this song except for the recording of it, the way the drums sound, the way the guitars sound, and the way Paul's voice is in the chorus. I hate that part. So that right there could have took a song, if that had been done a little differently, it could have been a 5 or a 6 maybe, but it knocks it to a 4. So we're going to move on to the next track. We're going to move on to another Paul song. Where the hell's Gene at? We're going to move on to another. Oh, I remember where Gene is. Gene's off making movies and producing other bands. That's right. That's where Gene is. But anyway, we're going to move on to track 3 by Paul, Bang, Bang, You.
5, 6, 7, 8. Whoa, I just can't wait. I'm gonna bang, bang, yeah. I'll shoot you down with my love gun.
Bang Bang You was written by Paul Stanley and Desmond Child. Paul played the rhythm, Gene played the bass, Eric played the drums, Bruce played the solo. The song sounds too much like Crazy Crazy Nights for me, and it sounds like they're trying too hard to be reveling on this one to me. I like how Paul resurrected the love gun in this song, but this song's cheesy in my opinion. This really could have been a better song than what it is. But, you know, I remember, I grew up during this time. I was 18 when this album came out, and all we wanted to do when we were 18 years old was get drunk illegally and fuck. That's all we wanted to do, and party. And I was in a band at this time, so, you know, there was a lot of that happening. But, you know, sometimes when you come out with a song, Bang Bang You, and, you know, Kiss at this point in time, they're kind of old guys, you know, they're aging a little bit, and they're kind of old guys. So we got the old guys singing Bang Bang You to us and everything, and they're putting hot chicks in their videos, which we all appreciated. But this was Kiss that we grew up with the makeup on, and them singing about this kind of stuff with their makeup on, it just seemed to make a little more sense. But this song is just, you know, it's there's parts about it I like, but I just can't get the overall thing that kills songs on this album for me is the choice of writers sometimes. Like, this is a Desmond Child song. I'm not the biggest Desmond Child fan. There's people out there who love him. I'm not the biggest Desmond Child fan, especially when it comes to Kiss. And the overall sound of the album, the overall sound of the drums, the overall sound of the guitar, the keyboards and stuff like that. It's just, you know, but this song here, it sounds like they're trying too hard. My score on this song is a 4. It's right there along with, you know, I'll Fight Hell to Hold You. You know, it's not great songs, not bad, you know, not good, not great, not bad, but not good either. So we're going to go on to the 4th track, and we finally get a damn Gene song. So Gene's going to show up, and he's going to sing No, No, No. No, No, No was written by Gene Simmons, Bruce Kulick, and Eric Carr. It was sang by Gene. Paul played the rhythm, Gene played the bass, Eric played the drums, Bruce played the solo. The song was originally titled Assume the Position and then later titled Down on All Fours. Bruce and Eric developed the song based off a riff at Eric's apartment that Bruce had came up with, and Eric began adding the double beat drum part for. This is Gene's first song on the album, and it's the first album's real bright spot for me. I love this song at the beginning where Bruce channels his inner Eddie Van Halen, and he's got that just wailing guitar solo, and then the drums come in, and then he starts kicking into what's kind of sounds some licks that could have been on Eruption and everything, and then Gene comes in and starts singing, and Gene's singing the way I like for him to sing, and just this is just a really great song. To me, this is arguably the best song on the album. And it comes too damn early to be the best song on the album. Gene sounds great on this song. The drums sound good on this song. Even the guitars sound good on this song. This is a kick-ass rock and roll Kiss song. This is how all the songs should be on this album. They should all sound like this. I don't understand why only one song sounds this way. But this is a kick-ass song. I really like it. But you know, still, there's some things about it I don't like. You know, I'm not a big fan of the chorus, just that no, 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 and, you know. So I end up scoring this song a 6. I know that I'm not, you know, some people are like, oh, man, that song's an 8 or 9 or whatever. To me, it's a 6. In the whole catalog, even though it's probably the best, I may say it's the best song on the album by the time I get done, which would make it a 9 or a 10. Throughout the scope of the whole catalog, if you think about it, this is probably a 6 in Kiss's catalog. So this is probably a 6 to me. So I hate to leave this song, but we're going to go on to the next song, and it's another Gene song. So we get 2 in a row, and we're going to be listening to Come Hell or High Water.
Can't sleep at night. Ain't feeling right. But I'm gonna get to you. Come hell or high water. I'm gonna love you.
Come Hell or High Water was written by Gene and Bruce Kulick, sang by Gene. Paul played the rhythm, Eric played the drums. Bruce played the bass and the solo. Bruce came up with the initial idea during the Asylum tour, and Gene later added some lyrics and the song title. Now, this isn't a bad song, but it just doesn't grab me. I mean, it doesn't grab me the way No 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 did, and it's kind of a letdown. It starts off with this really nice riff. It's like dang, 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 and then Gene comes in with this like real soft. He comes in like, here I am, all alone. Something, something since you've been gone. He's kind of singing soft and everything. But then he gets into the pre-chorus like, you win or lose. And then he starts stepping it up. And then when they're in there, they're like, come hell or high water, I'm going to love you. And he starts singing. Why aren't you singing that way? I mean, I understand you have to have dynamics, but don't pull off too much, Demon. I mean, but like I said, looking at my notes here, I think what gets me is the way Gene sings the verses. I mean, and it's not the strongest written song, but he puts that soft touch on his voice. I wish he would have sung that the way he sung the chorus. It's got a nice bridge and a great solo. And this kind of feels like when I'm listening to this song, it almost has the feeling like it's Gene's Crazy, Crazy Nights. If you listen to Crazy, Crazy Nights and then skip straight to Come Hell or High Water, they have a lot of similarities between the two of them. Just try it out and see what you think. So we're going to go on to the next track, back to Paul. We're going to be listening to My Way, and not Frank Sinatra's My Way, Paul's Way. Or rather, Paul's, Desmond Child, and Bruce Turgon's Way.
And I'm nothing under the gun. I am the one who's got the right to decide. I'm gonna talk like I talk, walk like I walk my way.
My Way was written by Paul Stanley, Desmond Child, and Bruce Turgon. Sang by Paul. Paul played the rhythm, Gene played the bass, Eric played the drums, Bruce played the solo. The song did not change much from the demo to the album. Now, y'all get ready for this. And if you like this song, I'm sorry. But I'm going to say one thing right now. I freaking hate this song. I hate this song. This should not ever have been recorded by a band like Kiss. Screw you, Paul Stanley and Desmond Child and Bruce Turgon, for writing this steaming hot piece of trash of a song and daring to put fucking Boomerang on this song, on this album, and replace it. I know it ended up getting put on Hot and Shade. Put Boomerang, hell, one of these other songs, X Marks the Spot or whatever. Put something else on or better yet, this album was 11 tracks and the longest Kiss album. Leave this steaming pile of shit off of the album. My Way sucks. I don't think I've ever scored a song a 1. I don't think I have. But this song, I'm going to tell you, it's a 1 for me. It's a 1. And it's lucky it's not a 0. I don't think I can think of a song that I hate worse than this one right off the top of my head. And if you ask me, if somebody would ask me before, as I come up and says, what's your least favorite Kiss song? I believe I would probably pull out My Way. Because I remember the first time I heard this album and this song, and I was like, holy crap. Just the way it starts, the key, it's like, the keyboards, it's like, oh my God. The only good thing about this song is the solo. Bruce, thank you. But you know what? I can't hardly get through the song to listen to it. This gets skipped every single damn time. It starts, I'm like, skip, skip. It gets skipped. Total piece of crap. Total piece of crap. Shouldn't have recorded it, Paul. Shouldn't have wrote it. When you wrote it, you should have stuck it in the fireplace and burned it. Or let Desmond Child sell it to somebody else. It sucks. All right. So, let's go on to the next song. When Your Walls Come Down. And hopefully it gets better. But I don't think it will.
You'll be real happy till they lose sleep. When your walls come down. When your walls come down. When your walls come down.
When Your Walls Come Down was written by Paul Stanley, Bruce Kulick, and Adam Mitchell. Sang by Paul. Paul played rhythm, Gene played bass, Eric played drums, Bruce played the solo. This is another song that Bruce had come up with the riff for on the Asylum tour. Paul added a chorus to it that he had already written, and Adam Mitchell helped to finish out the song. It's not one of the worst songs on the album. It's not My Way. It's not one of the worst songs on the album, but it's not one of the better songs either. And it's not great. It's, you know, let me see if I can find some strong points. Not much to write about. Once again, the solo is good. Bruce nails these solos. I mean, if you listen to these songs, just get to the solo. Once Bruce finishes solo, go on to the next song. The best part of the song's over. It nails almost every song on this album. And the riff he comes up with, the songs are good ones. If you listen to the riff that's under, they're good. It's just the damn producing and the writing and the words and the lyrical content and you know, the way the guitars are recorded, the way the drums if this song been heavier, maybe it'd have been better. You know, I like that idea, when your walls come down. I mean, I like it, you know, but if it'd been heavier, it might have been better. But even then, hell, I'm not sure. I don't know. You know, let's go on to the next song. I'm trying not to get too depressed here. But let's go on to the next song. We're going to hit Reason to Live. So maybe I have a reason to keep listening.
I sailed into dark and endless nights and made it alive. Everybody's got a reason to live, baby.
Reason to Live was written by Paul Stanley and Desmond Child to confess their undying love for each other. I'm just being catty. That's not true. This was sang by Paul. Paul played the rhythm. Gene played the bass. Eric played drums. Bruce played the solo. This is the second single of the album, and Paul recounts the first time he played the demo over the phone for Gene. He said after the song was over, there was silence on the other line as if a bomb had went off. He said Gene was speechless. But Paul defended the song, saying during this time you had to have a power ballad. And he was right. Hell, even Guns N' Roses had Sweet Child of Mine. I wouldn't necessarily call this a power ballad, but I wouldn't call it a bad song either. I mean, I won't call it a great one either. You know, once again, keyboards. Boom, 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 boom. Why couldn't it be a guitar? Why couldn't it have been, you know? I don't know, man. You know, like I said, it's Reason to Live. I mean, it was kind of the hit off the album. You know, Crazy Nights was a hit, and this was kind of a hit, you know, I guess. You know, I don't know. It's a middle of the ground, okay song, and it's not really what I'd call a power ballad. You know, this isn't I'll Be There For You from Bon Jovi. This isn't Angel Eyes from Steelheart. This isn't Heaven from Warrant. This isn't what's that song from Every Mother's Nightmare? Love Can Make You Blind. I don't know if that's the 80s or not. That might have been the 90s. But, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't call it great when it's a middle of the ground song. But if you listen closely, this song almost sounds like Foreigner's I Want to Know What Love Is. Now, that's a power ballad, you know, but I don't know. Maybe Paul, I know Paul tries to imitate people a lot. He does these writing challenges where he tries to emulate. I wouldn't say imitate, emulate. He tries to, I want to see if I can write a song that sounds like this. I want to see if I can write a song that sounds like this. And I commend him for that because some of his best songs have come from him doing things like that. But this one, he ends up sounding a little bit too flaccid and a little too much like Foreigner. So, but I still give it a 5. I like it. I'm not saying I hate the song. I'm not hating on it too much. I like it. It's a good song. It's a 5. So now we're going to go on to the next track. We're going to go on to Gene's song, Good Girl, Gone Bad.
She ain't the girl she was before. She's a good girl, gone bad. One kiss.
Good Girl, Gone Bad was written by Gene Simmons, David Segerson, and Peter Diggins. Paul played rhythm, Gene played bass, Eric played drums, Bruce played the solo. Gene wrote this song with his friend David and David's writing partner Peter Diggins, whom Gene had never met. Gene had an idea for a song based on his community college days, where he was trying to lay a demure, coy, unclaimed virgin. And after trying to turn her, she finally did give in, except it wasn't with Gene. It was, in fact, with a friend of Gene's who reaped the reward of his hard work. Now, I actually enjoyed the story about this song, behind the song and what brought it about, more than I enjoyed the song itself. This is just one of those songs, it's just, you know, it's not good. It's not bad, it's not great. It's okay, a little short of okay. I've said that about most of the songs on the album. You can tell Gene really wasn't trying on this album. You know, it's almost like he came in and kicked ass with No, 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 and then he's like, all right, I'm going to go produce some bands, and I'm going to go act in some movies, you know. But as far as this song, whatever, you know, meh. It's just, I hate feeling meh about a Kiss album. It really pains me. You know, this has been a real hard album for me to review and to listen to. And I listened to this album, I started listening to it. I usually, whenever I finish reviewing an album, like when I finished Asylum, I'll start listening to the next album, and I'll listen to it pretty much like 3 or 4 times a day for like the next week, going into it, sitting down and making my notes. And I'll make notes while if something pops in my head, I'll make a note or whatever, and then I'll sit down and I'll score it, and then I'll do my research and everything, and that's how I'll basically come up with all the stuff that's in my notes here. And it's funny because I've got 5 pages worth of notes for this album, for an album that I'm leaning towards thinking is a shitty album. But, whatever, But anyway, about this song, like I said, it's not entirely bad. It has its good spots. The bridge is nice. Got a really good bridge in it. Bruce solo, again, is great. The drums sound flat. But they do on most of the album, except for No, No, No. That's about the only song that the drums sound decent, that the whole band sounds decent on this album, is on No, No, No. So I scored this song a 4 on my rating. So, it's not bad, not good, definitely not great. It's just meh, So we're going to go on to the next song. We're going to Turn on the Night. Try not to turn my stomach.
Turn on the night. I can't wait any longer. Turn on the night. Yeah.
Turn on the Night was written by Paul Stanley and Diane Warren, sang by Paul. Paul played rhythm, Gene played the bass, Eric played the drums, Bruce played the solo. Paul wrote this song with Diane in March and April of 1987. It was his first collaboration with her. And she was an up-and-coming writer who had just hit with Starship's Nothing Gonna Stop Us Now. And this was the 3rd single off the album, but it did not even chart in the U.S. Now, to me, every time I listen to this song, like I said, I keep going back to Bon Jovi. But when I listen to this song, it sounds like a sped-up version of She Don't Know Me from Bon Jovi off their 1st or 2nd album. Maybe it's off of their 2nd album, the 7800 Degrees Fahrenheit, or whatever the hell the name of it is. I really only like, from Bon Jovi, I really only like Slippery When Wet and New Jersey. New Jersey's good, but I like Slippery When Wet better. But this sounds more like a She Don't Know Me. It's sped up that dun, 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 dun. Once again, keyboards. And turn on the night. I mean, some of these songs on here sounds like freaking bad 80s soundtrack songs. This could have been in Karate Kid or, whatever. I mean, it sure to hell couldn't have been in Lost Boys, but couldn't have been in that. But it could have, it could have been in one of those cheesy 80s teenager movies, that came out. Some kind of backing for a montage. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. I mean, it's, Paul shouldn't have wrote with Diane Warren. Shouldn't have done it. Just like he shouldn't have written My Way with Desmond Child. And I know that Paul was, trying to keep the band together with this album, just as kind of the same as he did with Animalize. And this was a rough period for Paul. I'm not going to beat him up too much. This was a rough period for Paul because Gene was off trying to do all his Gene things that Gene does, and we all know Gene and how Gene does and Gene's ways. And Kiss was already established, and he'd made his money off of Kiss, and now he was trying to make money off of other things. And but still, man, shouldn't have wrote this song. You shouldn't have wrote My Way. I score Turn on the Night a 2 because it turns my stomach. So we're going to go to the last song on the album, Thank God. And maybe we get a good song out of it, but probably not. Going to go to Gene's Thief in the Night.
Like a thief in the night, she breaks into his heart.
Thief in the Night was written by Gene Simmons and Mitch Wiseman, sang by Gene. Paul played rhythm, Gene played the bass, Eric played the drums, Bruce played the solo. This song is actually Kiss covering themselves. Back in 1984, when Gene was working with Wendy O. Williams' band, the Plasmatics, Gene worked on this song with Mitch Wiseman and gave it to Wendy to record. Kiss would then record the same song for Crazy Nights. It's My Life had also been considered during this period. Gene decided to record this song simply because he liked it. Now this song, again, falls where most of the songs fall on this album. Not good, not bad, but not great. Just meh, not even middle of the road, just to the left of being sucky, middle of the road, but not quite off in the ditch like, My Way and that other piece of crap, Turn on the Night. Let's see what else I got in my note here. Not good, not bad, not great. The riff's okay. Gene's singing is okay. Bruce solo's good, but Bruce even can't save this one. It peters out the end of the song. The riff's okay. It's not great. Gene's voice, Gene's vocals, he's just kind of singing uninspired. And like I said, it just kind of peters the album out. So I scored a 4, and I think that's being graceful. Some people who have listened to this album and scored this album, I've watched other people's reviews, and I don't base my reviews and my opinions off of other people's, and I don't get mad at them for their opinions because I just like hearing what other people say, what other people think. And most people that review this album, they hate this album. They hate it. I think I was kind of graceful in a lot of ways. I could have been a lot more meaner on some of these songs, but I just chose not to be because I was kind of honest. They're not terrible songs. The songs themselves, they're just some really bad things about them, or the songs just aren't that strong, not that good. But so we're going to do we're going to run down through my final scores here. Put it up here. We got Crazy Crazy Nights at a 5. I'll Fight Hell to Hold You at a 4. Bang Bang You at a 4. No 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 at a 6. My favorite song on the album. Hell or High Water a 5. My Way a 1. When Your Walls Come Down, I gave it a 4. Reason to Live, I gave it a 5. Good Girl Gone Bad, I gave it a 4. Turn on the Night a 2. Another stinker I hate. And Thief in the Night is a 4. That's a total of 44. Divided by 11 tracks, that gives it a total score of 4. And that is not good, Kiss Army. That is not good. No bueno. Or me bueno, or me bueno, or much bueno, or no damn good. Final thoughts. My final thoughts on the album. 7 of the 11 tracks score below a 5 on my rating scale. With my most favorite song, No No No, only scoring a 6. And the other 3 tracks scoring a 5. This has hands down been my least favorite Kiss album I've reviewed to this point, with a rating of 4. And it does score at the bottom, as we'll see in my list that'll be coming up. I wasn't a big fan of Kiss during this time. I still listen to Kiss, but I pretty much had cut it off since Lick It Up. Like I said earlier, I would give Animalize and Asylum a spin every once in a while, which I said earlier. I didn't even buy this album until years later, which I think I didn't even buy it. I think somebody left a cassette in my car or something, maybe a chick or something. I know that chicks dug this album. They love this album. Guys, we hated it. It has 1 or 2 bright spots. It has entirely too many keyboards. And the guitars and the drums, so for the most part, their balls have been cut off. I really do like No No No, though. And for that song alone, I listen to this album every once in a while. Just for No No No. So that's my thoughts and that's my review. So I'm going to pull up my final scores here so you can see where this stands. So up to this point, I've reviewed all the Kiss albums before this one. Alive 2 stands tall and number 1 at 7.75. Creatures of the Night, 7.66. Ace 1978 Solo, 7.44. Dynasty at 7.22. Rock and Roll Over at a 7.1. Alive at a 7.06. Paul 1978 Solo at 7.0. Love Gun at 6.9. Destroyer at 6.77. The Elder at 6.4. Dressed to Kill at 6.3. Lick It Up at 6. Kiss Debut at 5.9. Kiss Unmasked at 5.81. Higher Than Hell 5.7. Asylum 5.6. Gene 1978 Solo 5.54. Peter 1978 Solo 5.5. Animalize 5.22. And Kiss Crazy Nights a 4. So there it is. This has been Crazy Nights. And yeah, it's... I'm gonna put it back in my thing here and just kind of leave it there. Leave it sealed. Maybe it, keeps some of the suck sealed inside there, so it don't get out and contaminate some of my other Kiss albums, because God knows they don't need contaminating to make them any worse than they already are. But anyway, I feel like I've hated a lot this episode, and I really hate that. I want you to know that I don't like reviewing Kiss albums, and I don't like hating on Kiss albums. I don't like hating on the band, but, I'm not a sheep either, and I don't think that everything Kiss has done has been God's gift, and I don't think every album they've made has been God's gift. It's not been. So anyway, that's all I've got for this one. If you like this video, or if you like these videos, I've got other videos. I've reviewed every Kiss album up to this point. You can click right here and click on my face there, and you can subscribe to the channels and turn on the notifications. Give a like, or click the share button. Share the video. Leave a comments down in the comments section. You can also click right here if you want to see another video. It's probably another Kiss review video or something else. But as always, I really appreciate you guys watching. I'm Brant. This is In My Head channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.